Okay, guys, welcome. We're going to continue to work on bar graphs today. I put something like this up for you guys to practice yesterday. So what this does, it gives you the graphs and the data. So if you look up at the top here, there's six kind of sets of data. Um, so it's all by colors. So you see blue, green, orange, yellow, and red. And then down below are six different graphs that represent that data up there. So what you're doing here is you're just trying to match the data to the graph. It's just like a matching, because what this is, it's good practice for you guys to interpret the data that you see in front of you. So the first one, it says blue's 1,000, green 7,000, orange is 3,000, yellow is 8,000, and red's 9,000. So what I would suggest you do, the first thing we're going to do is look at blue, and we see that there's 1,000 people, and you can see on these graphs, if you look, this one has the numbers going up. It starts at 0 and goes up to 10,000. So the first thing we're going to do, blue 1,000, we see graph A, blue's 1,000. So graph A maybe is 1. So we can see that graph B, it's 8,000. That's not it. Graph C is 1,000. Then if we go down, graph D, nope, it's about 7,000. Graph H is about 9,000. Graph I is 8,000. And then graph G, yes, it's 1,000. Graph H is about 1,000. And graph blue, or excuse me, graph I, it's 8,000. So we have four possibilities, okay? So it's going to be, right now we know it could be A, it could be C, it could be G, or it could be H. Okay, so then we have to look at the next one. Green is 7,000. So in graph A, green is 7,000. So we know it's no longer graph A. Graph C, nope, it's almost 9,000. So we have to go to the bottom two where it's 1,000. So right here, we look, green is 5,000. And over on H, oh, it's 7,000. So that looks like a good candidate. We want to do one more. We want to go back up. Remember, we're doing one. So we want to see, is orange 3,000 in graph H? Oh, it is. So let's just keep going and double check. Yellow, let me make sure yellow is 8,000. Yep, yellow is 8,000. Just to make sure, red's 9,000. We'll go down to graph H. And red is 9,000. Okay, so what we know now is that graph 1, right up here, is represented by, or basically data 1 is represented by graph H, okay? So what you want to do if you have a test like this, then just go and you'd probably put a big X through H because we know we're done with that one. Okay, so let's look at the second set of data. So blue is 9,000. So we're going to have to find a graph where blue is 9,000. So we know it's not A. B is 8,000. C, it's 1,000. D, it's 7,000. H is 9,000. Or excuse me, E is 9,000. And really, that is the only one where we see blue at 9,000. That's 8, that's 1,000, that's 7, that's 9, 8, 1,000, 1,000, 8. So by process of elimination, you guys are going to know that graph 2, the only one where blue is 9,000 is graph E. Okay, so the data point for number 2 is going to be represented by graph E. Okay, so C, we're back to blue at 1,000. So it could be A, or it could be G. Remember, we crossed H out, and also you're going to cross E out because we just did that. So we have two graphs out, E and H are out. So now we have, could be C or it could be G because it's got blue at 1,000. So we have to look at the next one. Green is 9,000. So in graph C, well, green is 9,000. Let's go down to the other one now. And down here, it's only 3,000. So what we know from that is the data points from this one right here for number 3, it's going to be graph C, where blue is 1,000, green is 9,000. We can look at the rest of them. Orange is 8,000, yellow is 7,000, and red is 3,000. Okay, so we've got the first 3 done. You want to cross those 3 out, okay? So far we're going to cross H out, E out, and C out, okay? Now let's go down to D right here, or let's look at 4, excuse me. So blue's 7,000. Let's find one where blue is 7,000. It's not A, it's not B. C we've already crossed out, okay. D, okay, we see D is 7,000. That's a good start. It's not E, we've already crossed that out. F is about 8,000. It's not F. We know it's not G. We know it's not H. And we know it's not I because I is 8,000. It's the only one that has 7,000 people is going to be graph D. Okay. So let's just double check. Let's go on to see what it says for, just to make sure. For number 4, and then it says the green is 9,000. So if we look at green, well, yep, it's right at 9,000. So for the number 4 here, it's going to be represented by graph D. Okay, we can just look orange, 3,000, yep. Yellow is 1,000, and red is 8,000. Okay, good. Let's go on to 5. So we're going to start with blue. 8,000 people. Okay, so let's find one that has 8,000 people. Well, we see B is 8,000 people, and we see F is 8,000 people. And let me see what else. And we also see I that is 8,000 people. So we have 3 graphs where blue is 8,000 people. Okay, what we're going to have to do next is go to 3,000 for the green. So in this one, green is almost 7,000. So we know it's not going to be that one. So we're going to go down. Right here, green is 3,000 people. Let's just double check and make sure. So F looks good right now. Let's check the other one where there's 8,000. I is 8,000 for blue, but green is 7,000. So for data points in 5, it looks like it's going to be F, where we have 8,000 for blue and 3,000 for green. Let's just double check, okay? Then orange says 9,000. So if we go to F, yep, orange is 9,000. Yellow is 7,000, and red is 1,000. Okay, so we know 5 is going to be F. And the last one we're going to do is 6 right here. Okay, so we start with blue at 8,000. Okay, so we know that B has 8,000. And we also know that we just looked, I has 8,000. So it's going to be between B and I. But what we're going to have to look at now is the next, which is green. So right here, the green is 7,000. That looks good. And green is also 7,000. Okay, so we're going to have to go to the next one. Orange is 1,000. So in this one, in B, orange looks like, it's almost 3,000. So let's go down to I. There it is. Orange is only 1,000. Okay, so we basically know it's going to be graph I. And if you want to just double check, then we'll go down to yellow is 9,000. So we look at graph I. Yep, yellow is 9,000 and red is 3,000. So we know then for number 6, it's going to be graph I. Okay, so really this is just, you guys, it gives you basically the bar graph, and it gives you the data. And what this exercise has you do, it has you match the data to the actual bar graph. And this might be something very similar that you might see on the test, where it asks you to look at like data and graphs and try to compare the two. So what I will do is I'll put another one of these up for you guys to practice. I'll post it in the classroom. And what I suggest you do, like if you had this on a test, I know it's hard on the computer, but once you basically have put a answer over here like we did, start crossing off those graphs. So the first one you would have crossed off was H, then you crossed off E, C, D, F, I, because then what it does, it saves you some time, and you know that graph possibly can't be the answer, okay? That's just my suggestion. Just cross off the graph, and then you can move on to the other one. So that's all I've got for today. I'm going to start social studies here in a little bit, then we'll do science after that. All right, you guys have a wonderful day, and hopefully I'll see some of you soon. Bye. Hey, Naya. How are you? So I'm just gonna now I'm gonna log out, and I'll be back on at about 10:30. You're muted too. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I forgot.
How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, good.
Right.
How's everything going?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
It's like I'm on break, so I'm sitting here thinking like I always forget about like how you guys are still in school, honestly.
I know.
So like I'm catching up on Z's, I'm working. And then I was like I just got the email the other day about community service and stuff and how they were like not gonna be as lenient about the hours, but I'm like, hell, why don't I just get it out the way while I can and catch up to and get like as close to 30 as I can before the 20th. So
Right.
I'm at like 21 hours, I think, right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right. Well, I'm just gonna log out so the video doesn't keep going, and then I'll log back in a little bit early.
okay.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
I'll see you in a little bit.
See you in a little bit. Bye.